Oh, yeah, it's getting frosty, baby. Frosty the Aardvark. All right, man. We got the Playmates, Monsterverse, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, fully posable and articulated Frost Vark. Hell yeah, this is a hell of a figure right away. Of course, we have the open boxes with Playmates, so you can pretty much see the whole damn figure. And it looks sharp. It looks really nice. The colors pop out at you. And this is one that grabbed me right away when I saw it on the shelf. I had to grab it. It's the first Titan that they're releasing from Monarch Legacy of Monsters, the TV series, which is great. You got the typical Monarch blue and purple box here. Frost Vark on one side, Monarch Legacy of Monsters on the other. And then on the back, we get a nice picture of the figure, which looks a little lighter than what it actually is. I think it's a better color than the color it shows on the back here. But we have Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, Frost Vark. From beneath the snowy tundra, the Frost Vark erupts to unleash its freezer tendrils, locking onto enemies and turning them to ice. Fantastic, man. So cool, bro. So, if you know, basically, it's the Frost Vark is from the TV series, from Monarch. It's guided by thermolocation, basically. So, it goes for the biggest heat source it could find. And it kind of sucks in the heat through its mouth here and freezes whatever whatever's around it. It's basically got kind of similar powers to Shimo, but with a different disposition, obviously. The Frost Vark is very aggressive. Shimo is docile, But it basically just sucks the heat out of whatever it wants to. Feeds on the heat and turns whatever it, whatever it sucks the heat out of into ice. It freezes everything over. And so in Monarch Legacy of Monsters, when Hiroshi goes to Alaska with his pilot, the Frost Vark jumps out, destroys the plane. It's got big claws that can rip right through a plane, kills his pilot. And then after that, when the rest of the crew, Randa, and all of them go to back to Alaska where they're tracking Hiroshi, the Frost Vark pops out again, and that causes a real rough time for them. But yeah, I mean that's what we're looking at. It's nasty, it's ornery, it's got big ass claws that can rip right through planes, and it freezes things. You know what I mean? And it causes a lot of problems in Monarch Legacy of Monsters for the cast. That's for damn sure. Yeah. And another thing that it could do is burrow. So it just burrows under the snow and pops out basically anywhere in Alaska. You know what I mean? And so they're running from it. It just burrows. They don't know where it is. And then the next minute it's popping out. And a very cool Titan, So I'm super happy that they made this figure. Let's make some more, like maybe the Ion Dragon next from the Monarch Legacy of Monsters show. That would be nice. But let's clip him out of this box here and see what he looks like. Okay, so wow. I'll tell you what, straight away, this is a really impressive figure. Look at this design, man. It's fantastic. Excellent, man. Wow. And it's pretty damn screen accurate for a Playmates figure, Super nice. Of course, you could see it's a much different color than the figure that they have here on the back of the box. And that's kind of understandable. We've seen that happen before. That happened with Battle Axe Kong, where the Kong we got was a lot nicer looking color-wise than the Kong that was on the back of the box. And same thing here. Over here you have a bluish, midnight blue, almost purplish tone, you know, with like a pea soup, brown or green right there, for his mouth. And that's not what we're going to get here, you know. We're going to get almost like a black and gray, like a charcoal mix, dark gray, with maybe a little bit of a blue tinge to it, but closer to gray, you know. It looks like two shades of gray to me. And then the color on the mouth is quite different. It's like brown and tan as opposed to that, which is, it's darker, and I like it better, you know. And the eyes, of course, you could see here, they're a nice blue, like the tendrils on his mouth, which are a nice blue here. And look at that. The face looks great. The eyes look cool. The mouth looks awesome. The teeth look great, if not funny. But that's what the Frost Vark looks like, you know. So it looks like an aardvark, basically, in shape. It's really a mole-like creature. And, you know, it's on all fours like Shimo. It has frost powers like Shimo. But it is super aggressive. And this is what it looks like here from the front. Very, very nice. Look at that crazy face, man, with the tendrils in the mouth. You can see inside the mouth. That looks absolutely great. You have kind of pretty cool articulation on the legs. You can make them go flat. You can pretty much, you know, stand them up on their tippy toes even. But we'll do different poses so you can see what it does. But look at the beautiful spikes on his back here. These, like, I guess, you know, they're dorsal plates. They're, you know, of some sort. And you can see they're on the back of his neck as well, too. The detail of them is just phenomenal, going all the way down to the tail, on the legs. You know, fantastic. The claws are like a dark gray or black, you know, like a charcoal, actually, as well. They kind of match the color of the rest of it. And the eyes are nice, too, you know. So, yeah, it looks great, you know. So let's pose him and see what he could do. Okay, so we're going to have him in a really nice action pose like that with the leg back. That's about as far back as it goes. Make it look like he's galloping on all fours. You could extend the arm out like that to make it look like he's swiping with it. Very nice. The claws look imposing. I like the color of this, man. Really, really cool. The head does not go up and down, but it does turn side to side, so you can get a turn on it. And yeah, this is super nice. You have him up really like on the tip of his toes or his claws. Make it look like he's in motion and running with his head slightly turned to the side. So you're not going to get much articulation on the tail either. It doesn't go up and down. It goes side to side. So it'll give you some movement. There is some articulation on this, which is good, you know. Really, I think you're buying the figure more for the looks of it, but we do have some poses we could put it into. This is very cool. You could get him up on his hind legs like that, like Gamera. Almost looks like Gamera like that with the messed up face, but very, very cool. You know, of course, the tail supports it. The feet function nicely. They go pretty flat. You can bend the arms at the elbows like that right here. And you're creating a on his hind legs, roaring into the sky pose. Fantastic. I just want to show you how low you could get him to look with the front arms. You could bring them all the way down like that and get them fairly flat to the ground. You could stretch the legs back if you want like that as well. You know, have them like in an Anguirus type of pose, but yeah, it looks better like that anyway, you know. But you could really, just to show you what it looks like from the front, you could really get these nice and flat. Awesome. You're going to get movement out on the arms and legs here as well. Look at that. They turn to the side. So you could get kind of like a flat pose like that. Pretty interesting. Very, very impressive figure, man. The face is really dope. And just chock full of detail. I really love the contrast of the grays here when you look at this. It's like a charcoal gray into a lighter gray, and just really makes the figure pop. Fantastic. The tail turns like that, you know, side to side, and that's, you know, it doesn't go up or down. Very, very little. So just note that, you know, it's a stubby little tail anyway, so you could just basically turn it like that if you want to turn the tail. Super cool. You could basically get him into a pose like that with one leg up in the air, head turned a little bit to the side, and the arms out, so it makes it look like he's kind of switching angles and about to turn and run that way, you know. Yeah, you could do it like that as well. That looks dope. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, there's all sorts of like running, crawling, or walking poses that you could get this thing in. But, you know, that's about it as far as the articulation is concerned. You know what I mean? You could do several poses, either flat to the ground, running, up on its tippy toes, up on its hind legs, and you can move the head side to side, you know. Yeah, you know, that's really what it is. You're just changing the angles of the legs and changing the head, changing the hind legs, you could turn the tail a little bit. And, you know, you're just going to basically get running poses like that, you know. So that's it as far as the articulation goes, you know what I mean? Which is okay with me. I don't mind it. The figure looks so good, damn the articulation. Even if it's a couple of poses that it looks good in, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely a few you could find to pose it on the shelf. And this looks great, like an aardvark mixed with a wild boar or something like that just is ornery and freezes everything. So, a nice little figure like Playmates. Like, seriously, you know, this is like probably one of Playmates' nicest looking figures. It's just very well done. It's painted well, it looks good, it's pretty screen accurate. Playmates just happens to be getting better and better with these figures. And that's so cool because I really like going into Target and purchasing Playmates, man. That looks awesome, bro. Hell yeah. All right, let's do a little comparison. Okay, so if you didn't know, I was going to bring out Shimo the whole time as the comparison, obviously. The two Ice Titans. Right here we have the Ice Queen herself, Shimo, and the Frost Vark. Now, as I said before, Shimo's nature is to be docile, but Shimo spits ice breath. Frostvark basically just sucks away all the heat. It feeds on the heat. You know what I mean? Which, it's fitting for its personality, I guess. Like, Shimo was like basically forced to blow her frost breath, by Scar King, with the crystal that controlled her most of the time. Otherwise, she wouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? The Frostvark basically is just like hunting for heat. You know what I mean? And leaving everything frozen in its path. So, two different kinds of ice abilities, frost abilities from both of these titans with two very different personalities, aggressive, docile. You know what I mean? And I think that's really, really cool. I'm happy to have both of them. I love Playmates figures, man. Okay, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I'm not going to really do a long review because, the articulation is somewhat limited. You know what I mean? It's good articulation. It's just there's only so many poses you could get a four-legged titan into. But the articulation does work very nicely, and you can obviously see that with the arms here, Like you can get him into a standing up on his claws pose like that, which looks great, Fantastic. So if you like this guy, go out and get you a Frost Vark Like the goddamn video, subscribe to my channel, and I will be back at you with another one shortly. But yeah, let's go, Playmates. Do it, Playmates. It's the Frost Vark, baby. Peace.